Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Jujutsu Kaisen. Gojo family swordsmith refuses to be cut in half. Chapter 41. Master Wu, Master Ming. During this period of time, I need to cooperate with the association's first-level Jujutsu masters to perform tasks. I may not be able to guard you anymore. The news was confirmed by Gojo Shangyan, and Gojo Shun was able to respect the orders of the association. After all, although the Gojo family is one of the big three sorcerer families, the dignity of the Jujutsu Masters Association cannot be challenged. Now that the Gojo family has made an application, Gojo Shunny must take the assessment. This was a backup move that Gojo Shangyan made when he discovered something was wrong with Gojo Shunny. As long as Gojo Shunny had the slightest tendency to confront him, he was prepared to temporarily transfer him away from Gojo's house. Originally, he was not planning to use this move, but he never thought that Gojo Shunny easily defeated Yagyu Zeman with his Zanpakuto. As a future master of swordsmanship, Gojo Shunichi's reputation within the curse sect will inevitably rise. When the time comes, Gojo Ming's power of the second Zanpakuto will definitely affect the internal harmony of the twin curse sects. Therefore, when sending off Yagyu Yusuke, we communicated well with the Yagyu family, and through the influence of the Yagyu family in the association, we quickly arranged for a first-level Jujutsu master from the Yagyu family to be the subject of the assessment. At that time, let the first-level Jujutsu master of the Yagyu family take Gojo Shunichi away from Tokyo. In this way, the unstable factors within the Gemini curse sect will be temporarily eliminated. Everyone in the forging house looked a little surprised when they heard the news. After Gojo Shunny defeated Yagyu Zeman, Gojo Ming switched the perspective back and never paid attention to what was going on there, so he didn't know what happened to Gojo Shunny. However, he still feels very good about Gojo Shunny being promoted to the first-level Jujutsu master. After all, in the current Jujutsu world, a first-level Jujutsu master is considered to be the top fighter. Gojo Shunny's ability to advance to the first level will also be a big help to Gojo Ming. And Gojo Satoru just clapped his hands and congratulated Gojo in advance for his promotion. Zenin also nodded silently. Although he was not a Jujutsu master, he also knew the status of a first-level Jujutsu master in the Jujutsu world. Gojo Shunny can be promoted to a level, and he will have more say in the future. However, at the same time, Zenin's eyes were constantly looking at Gojo Shunichi, wondering if he could kill him with one blow if he suddenly took action now. Zenin touched the scar on his lip and came up with a definite answer. It doesn't seem to be a problem. A first-level Jujutsu master is just a little stronger than a normal person, but he is not a mutant. He will die after his heart is pierced and his head is cut off. At the same time, feeling the faint malice in Zenin's gaze, Gojo suddenly felt his hair standing on end, as if he was being stared at by a dangerous beast that might be torn to pieces at any time. What kind of monster is this person in front of me? Didn't he use all his strength when he fought against Master Ming before? It's really scary. What makes Zenin so powerful? Close black lens bracket. This person is really too dangerous. Did he just realize the secret behind my promotion to a first-level Jujutsu master? Such a person would easily recognize Master Ming. Close black lens bracket. Master Ming's secrets are no less secretive than Master Wu's. Moreover, this young master of the Zenin family is not a bad person, he also has many secrets. Close black lens bracket. Looking at the three people staring at him, Gojo took a deep breath. Sure enough, I still don't want to betray Master Wu and Master Ming. Although Gojo Shangyan's promise to me is tempting, if I want to make myself hostile to the three people in front of me. Haha, I am not a fool either. The three people in front of me are a 6 Eyes Heavenly Pupil, a Heavenly Restriction Carrier, and a 6 Eyes Heavenly Pupil plus Heavenly Restriction Carrier. These characteristics, which are rare in a century, appear simultaneously in this era. Gojo Shunny can already feel that the future must be a world of great contention. If we only focus on the internal struggle of the Gojo family, then the Gojo family will definitely not have any good development in the future. In the future, Gojo Ming and Gojo Satoru will definitely be the mainstay of the Gojo family. As for diehards and power seekers like Gojo Shangyan, they will only be treated like garbage in the future and be swept away. Thinking of this, Gojo instantly took the dangerous look. Zenin looked at him as a warning. His eyes also became firm. He looked up at Gojo Ming and said in a deep voice. Master Naru, my being transferred to be promoted to a first-level Jujutsu master this time is a conspiracy. The entire Curse faction is preparing to control the Gojo family in the future. In order to avoid the news that Chingmushi is a Zanpakuto exposed, I was transferred deliberately. The purpose of Elder Gojo Shangyan's doing this is not to let your reputation in the family continue to increase. I'm sorry, I can't use Chingmushi's technique yet, and I can't prove that Chingmushi is a Zanpakuto in the dojo. Gojo Shunyi's face was filled with guilt. Still, his talent was not enough. It was clear that Gojo Ming was able to use Soda Shirayuki's technique just after he forged Soda Shirayuki. And I had been groping for nearly an hour, but I didn't even see any trace of the technique. If he could use the insect clearing technique, Gojo Shangyan's conspiracy would not succeed in this case. I heard that there was such an inside story about Gojo Shunichi's promotion, and the whole thing actually revolved around Gojo Ming's conspiracy. An unusual gloom suddenly appeared on Gojo Satoru's young face. Although Gojo Shangyan is his unwavering supporter, targeting his younger brother Gojo Ming in this way has gone beyond the limit. He wanted to find Gojo Shangyan personally, and he wanted to rectify Gojo's name personally. Gojo Naru looked at Gojo Satoru's expression. As a twin, he knew what Gojo Satoru was thinking at a glance. Facing this exposed conspiracy, a faint smile appeared on Gojo Naru's face, as if he didn't take this kind of thing to heart at all. Instead, he pulled Gojo Satoru, who was about to get up. Oh, so that's it. However, I still have to congratulate Uncle Shun. Taking this opportunity to advance to the first level will be very beneficial to Satoru and me in the future. As for Elder Shangyan's plan, well, I'm not very resistant to it. Similarly, when Gojo heard such words, his face was also full of confusion. Why is Master Gojo Ming, who is obviously hostile to the Curse faction, so calm in the face of Gojo Shangyan's designs? Facing the doubtful looks of the three people, Gojo Ming shook his head. Right now, I need Elder Gojo Shangyan to help me and Satoru sort out the messy Gojo family. The head of the family is ill, so some ghosts and monsters will naturally take advantage of this opportunity to run out. Let Elder Gojo Shangyan clean up first. Wu and I are still young, and we don't have the energy to focus on mundane matters such as family management. Since Elder Gojo Shangyan is willing to do this kind of thing, Wu and I are happy to do it. Leisure. The most important point is that the theoretical foundation of your so-called Gemini Curse sect is actually based on me. I have absolute initiative. As long as I prove that I am not Satoru's curse, then the foundation of the Twin Curse sect will completely disappear. Elder Gojo Shangyan has no real rights even if he is the nominal head of the family. There was a hint of indifference in Gojo Ming's heavenly eyes. In the Jujutsu world, everything is based on strength. If he hadn't met Zenin before, he might have been more worried about the impact of Gojo Shangyan's actions on him. However, now I not only know Zenin, Gojo Satoru has also learned unlimited techniques, and I also own a Zanpakuto. These so-called conspiracies of Gojo Shangyan are just a wedding dress for Gojo Satoru and Gojo Ming to take over the Gojo family in the future. The two of them are the Six Eyes sons of the Gojo family. With the absolute strength and the identity of Six Eyes, as long as Gojo Satoru opens his mouth, no one in the entire Gojo family will dare to disobey him. Even in the worst-case scenario, Gojo Shangyan will jump over the wall in the future. The strength of their trio will not make them afraid in front of anyone. Moreover, in the future, I will make Zanpakuto for Gojo Satoru and Zenin, and their strength will be stronger than before. Could Gojo Shangyan find Ryomen Sukuna to threaten their lives? Sorry, even if Sukuna appears, he will not be afraid. Naru, you are not curse. Hearing Gojo Naru say that he is his curse, Gojo Satoru's face was full of dissatisfaction. He himself knew Gojo Ming's situation and would never allow his brother to be so self-deprecating. Hey, I got it, just giving you an example. Being stared at by Gojo Satoru's six eyes, Gojo Ming could only raise his hands and surrender. So, Wu, let Elder Shangyan help us work. I really like free prostitution. Gojo Naru's remarks made Gojo Satoru give up his previous thoughts. Gojo Shunichi was completely stunned. He didn't expect that the 6-year-old boy in front of him had already thought so far. Gojo Shangyan told him to take a long-term view. We must see through the phenomenon to see the essence. Don't care about the current gains and losses. But now, he felt that these words were completely describing Gojo Ming. Compared with Gojo Ming, Gojo Shangyan is the one with more short-sightedness. Thinking of this, Gojo looked at Gojo Ming with a kind of awe in his eyes. What a terrible person. How lucky the Gojo family is to have such a person as the heir to the Gojo family. If, before this conversation, he had always been inclined towards Gojo Satoru becoming the head of the family, then after the conversation, he had completely believed that Gojo Satoru was more suitable for this position. After all, Gojo Satoru's character escapes. As for Gojo Ming's personality, he tends to be calm and make decisions before taking action, which makes him more suitable for managing the entire Gojo family. At this time, looking at Gojo Ming's pair of blue eyes, the image of the young boy in front of him slowly began to grow. However, at this moment, Zenin's words directly broke Gojo's thoughts. Hey, Master Gojo, have you ever had a prostitute? Do you know the word, free prostitution? I'm not talented. I have the same hobbies as Master Gojo Ming. I also like prostitution for free. How about it? The previous agreement between us has been cancelled. I want to have sex in vain. Zenin's teasing words immediately relaxed the atmosphere in the entire forging room. Gojo Ming's originally indifferent expression suddenly broke down, and his whole face was covered with a wry smile. Sheer, isn't your focus a little too special? I'm talking about business, okay. Gojo Ming glanced at Zenin helplessly. This tyrant of heaven and earth, who didn't care about anything and liked to use force to defeat cleverness in everything, seemed to have only paid attention to his last words just now. Okay, I hate the bullshit in these big families. It's full of the stench of decay. Zenin slapped his nose with his right hand, as if he really smelled something. Gojo Satoru, Gojo Ming and Gojo Shunyi were all speechless. They don't know why Zenin even has the nerve to dislike the Gojo family. In terms of corruption and stubbornness, the Zenin family would say they are second, but they would not dare to say that they are number one. A mere young master from the Zenin family dared to mock the Gojo family in this regard. Although Zenin had given him a huge sense of threat just now, Gojo still didn't want to hear Zenin's dislike of the Gojo family. However, when he questioned Zenin about the identity of the Zenin family, Zenin blocked Gojo Shunichi's words with one sentence. What's so good about being in the Zenin family? As long as I want, I can leave the Zenin family at any time. Can anyone stop me? Gojo Shunichi and Gojo Satoru's eyes widened instantly. They did not expect Zenin Sheer to give such an answer. Zenin is not joking, right? Only Gojo Naru continued to smile bitterly. He knew the future development of Zenin. This was the man named Fushiguro Megumi in the future, the father of Fushiguro Megumi. A man who would leave the Zenin family and marry into a family he had never heard of. Therefore, Gojo Ming had really thought about whether Zenin could marry into Gojo's family in the future. As for Gojo Satoru and Gojo Shunichi, they have never thought of letting a big three sorcerer families like Zenin Gigi betray the family and enter Gojo's house. After all, this kind of thing is really appalling. There is absolutely no way that the Zenin family would let this happen, even though Zenin is just an ordinary person with no magic power. Master Ming, since Gojo Shangyan's purpose is to clear away insects, then I'd better return the insect clearing to you. I can't use the insect clearing technique, so you must be able to. If Gojo Shangyan raises doubts about you, you can also directly use Ching-Chong to prove your strength. Ever since meeting Sota Shirayuki and Saimashi, Gojo Shunichi's trust in Gojo Ming has become almost blind. He never doubted whether Gojo Ming could use the insect clearing technique. Although he was a little reluctant in his heart, he was still determined to return the Ching-Chong to Gojo Ming. He didn't want to be part of Gojo's conspiracy. However, to his surprise, Gojo Ming shook his head and refused. Instead of worrying about this kind of thing, it is better to hurry up and run in with Ching-Chong. Completing Shiji and Swastika as soon as possible is the greatest reward for me. Close black lens bracket. The clear insect has no use in my hand, is it just to prove that I have the ability to forge a Zanpakuto? Haha, why should I care about other people's opinions? Besides, I haven't seen the appearance of cursed spirit yet. Let's truly experience the cruelty of this world through Ching Chong's vision. Close black lens bracket. You continue to use Ching Chong, complete the initial solution as soon as possible, and release the Ching Chong technique. Don't worry about anything else. Do you really think that the test for promotion to the first level Jujutsu Master is so easy? Now that Shin Ming is gone, are you going to find a new weapon? Satoru and Jinji have just told me about the kendo competition just now. You don't want to end up like Yagyu Zeman, do you? Gojo Ming's words went straight to Gojo Shunichi's heart. Especially the fate of Yagyu Zeman left Gojo with lingering fears. Gojo took a deep breath and nodded. If I didn't have the Zanpakuto Kiyomizu, would I have the abilities of a first-level Jujutsu Master? Gojo Shunichi is confident, but having the Zanpakuto Saimashi for protection is a kind of protection for him. He could feel the concern in Gojo Ming's words, and his loyalty to Gojo Ming increased a bit. Although Gojo Ming is actually a reward for borrowing the sword, this actually improves Gojo Shunichi's overall strength. But before you leave, let's do one last kendo training. This time, you use Chingmashi, and I use Soda Shirayuki. I also don't know how to use Soda Shirayuki's technique. Perhaps fighting the Zanpakuto will make it easier for you to connect with Kiyomizu. Gojo Ming took out Soda Shirayuki, with a hint of excitement hidden in his plain expression. Gojo Shunyi is about to leave Gojo's house to perform the promotion assessment, so his next chance to gain Kendo's wool will be gone. And just after passing the kendo competition between Gojo Shunyi and Yagyu Zeman, Gojo Ming's kendo experience bar has reached 99.9%, only the last bit is missing to reach 100%. Originally, Gojo Ming thought that after the two kendo masters competed, he would be able to activate the second skill of killing, punching, walking and ghost fighting in vain. However, I didn't expect that this sword competition ended without any problems due to the Ching Chong. This also made Gojo Ming very regretful that he could not take this opportunity to maximize his kendo experience. In this case, Gojo Ming can only make enough food and clothing by himself. On the one hand, it is to improve the closeness between Gojo Shunyi and Ching Chong, and on the other hand, it is also to activate the free fight proficiency as soon as possible. In this case, after Gojo leaves in a flash, he can continue to pluck Zenon's wool. After all, Zenon's ability to fight for nothing is basically at the top of the entire Jujutsu Kaisen world. Upon hearing Gojo Ming's request, Gojo Shunichi was moved. He didn't know that Gojo Ming's real purpose was to improve his kendo experience. He simply thought that Gojo Ming was to get himself recognized by Ching Chong as soon as possible, so that he could complete Ching Chong's initial solution as soon as possible and master Ching Chong's techniques as soon as possible. Therefore, he was very energetic, holding Ching Chong in a shallow fighting state, and getting ready to fence with Gojo Ming. Ling Wu, Shu Baishui. In order to fight Gojo Shunichi for a few more blows, Gojo Naru directly completed Soda Shirayuki's first solution. Gojo Satoru and Zenon were silently admiring Soda Shirayuki's beauty, completely ignoring Gojo Shunichi. They had all seen Soda Noriyuki's appearance before, but seeing the Zanpakuto transform from a simple sword to the pure white and beautiful Soda Noriyuki again, they were still extremely shocked in their hearts. Master Ming, I wonder if the Qing worm will be as beautiful as Shoshui Baishui after the Qing dynasty is over. Gojo suddenly spoke his mind. Sure enough, even an uncle like Gojo Shunichi has no resistance to beautiful things. However, Gojo Ming will not tell Gojo Shunyi the truth. After all, Soda Shirayuki is the most beautiful Zanpakuto, so he has such an experienced appearance. Well, as for cleaning insects, the ability is good, but in terms of appearance, it is ordinary and unremarkable. Chang. The host is receiving the teachings of the Kendo Master, Kendo Experience plus 10. The host is receiving the teachings of the Kendo Master, Kendo Experience plus 10. The host is receiving the teachings of the Kendo Master, Kendo Experience plus 10. The sound of Zanpakuto colliding with Zanpakuto continued, and the last 0.1% of experience seemed to be endless. Even at the end, the system prompted that the Kendo experience gained had become 0. The host is receiving the teachings of the Kendo Master, Kendo Experience plus 0. Seeing this prompt, Gojo Ming suddenly became confused. Since swordsmanship experience cannot be increased now, it means that the experience slot has reached the upper limit. However, why is this progress always stuck at 99.9% and unable to reach 100%? While Gojo was fencing with Gojo Shunny, he began to understand the swordsmanship taught by Gojo Shunny. The scenes of learning swordsmanship kept reappearing in my mind. During the mechanical fencing process, Gojo Ming fell into an unconscious state, and the kendo experience he had gained before began to diminish rapidly. Kendo experience, 99.9%. Kendo experience, 90.9%. Kendo experience, 80.9%. Kendo experience, 10.9%. Kendo experience, 0%. Unconsciously, the kendo experience in the experience tank completely returned to 0, and at the moment when the experience value returned to 0, Gojo Ming felt as if his whole body was being opened up. The originally stagnant swordsmanship skills were mastered in this moment. When he came back to his senses, the worm in Gojo Shunny's hand had been picked off by Soda Shirayuki in his own hand, and Soda Shirayuki was holding it on Gojo Shunny's neck. The entire forge room was filled with cold air. The eyes of everyone present were filled with shock. Gojo Ming's words made Gojo Satoru and Zenin frown. It is clear that Gojo Xiongyan is targeting Gojo Ming, but why is Gojo Ming so calm and not even contradictory at all? If this happens to them, they will definitely be very dissatisfied. Open black lens bracket. What's happening here? Why did Master Ming's swordsmanship improve so much in an instant? This is totally unreasonable. Close black lens bracket. Gojo Shunichi, who was fighting with Gojo Naru, was shocked. As a master of swordsmanship, he could even be promoted to one of the 4 great masters in the future. Naturally, he could understand how advanced Gojo Ming's attack technique was. If we talk about it a second ago, Gojo Ming was just like a Kirigiri who had initially mastered Gojo's ultimate flow. Well, now, it is not an exaggeration to say that Gojo Ming has been widely spread. Why can one person have such a huge contrast between before and after? Gojo Shunny cannot use conventional experience to measure Gojo Ming. Is this the talent of 6 eyes? Although he has no magic power, Gojo Ming is far superior to ordinary people in other aspects. Gojo Shunichi didn't know that Gojo Naru had a system, so he could only think of this reason. If Gojo Ming was described as someone with a lot of experience, he would think it was unreasonable. After all, it has only been more than a month since Gojo Ming came into contact with kendo. If 1 month can be used as a solid foundation, then they, the masters of swordsmanship, shouldn't be so ashamed that they jump into a well and commit suicide. It can only be said that Gojo Ming is extremely talented. Zenin looked at Gojo Ming's swordsmanship skills and raised his eyebrows slightly. With heavenly restriction and no spell power, he still has some experience in using cold weapons. Therefore, he can better appreciate how precise the timing of Gojo Ming's attack was just now. 1 second earlier and this attack would have failed. 1 second later, this attack will be blocked. Gojo Ming found the weakness in Gojo Shunichi's move sooner or later, and knocked away the insect in Gojo Shunichi's hand with 1 blow. The sword master lost his weapon, which meant that the outcome of this battle had been determined. 6-year-old Gojo Naru, using Soda Shirayuki, defeated the kendo master Gojo Shunichi. Although this was also due to the fact that Gojo Shun was alone, the result was the result. Gojo Ming showed his current level of swordsmanship and also won this duel. On the other side, Gojo Satoru's 6 eyes was filled with shock, and a trace of panic flashed through his heart for the first time. Gojo Satoru has always known that Gojo Ming is very powerful, but this is based on the premise that Gojo Ming uses the Zanpakuto. In fact, in Gojo Satoru's heart, it is not that Gojo Naru's personal strength is strong, but Soda Shirayuki's technique is powerful enough. In Gojo Satoru's opinion, Gojo Naruto is still the person who needs his protection. During this period of time, Gojo Satoru will always be by Gojo Naru's side. One reason is, of course, curiosity about the forging of Zanpakuto. Another reason is that he is also worried that someone will be harmful to Gojo Ming. Gojo Satoru has always felt guilty about Gojo Ming, so he would rather spend more time with Gojo Ming than put Gojo Ming in danger. But now, seeing Gojo Naru's level of swordsmanship, Gojo Satoru suddenly realized that in addition to possessing 6 eyes, powerful magic power, and powerful magic power control skills. In other aspects, he seemed to have no other advantages at all in front of Gojo Ming. I don't know how to forge, and I can't forge a Zanpakuto like Gojo Ming did, and become a person who subverts the cursed tool world. I don't know Kendo, and I can't be like Gojo Ming, who can raise his Kendo level to a level beyond the reach of ordinary people in the blink of an eye. At this moment, Gojo Satoru had such a doubt in his heart. Does a Ming need me to protect you? Although I have unlimited spells, do I really have the confidence to protect a Ming? Close black lens bracket. At this moment, Gojo Satoru realized that he was still too arrogant. He was stimulated by Gojo's voice. Not only is he mentally more mature than himself, but his younger brother is also far more mature than himself in behavior. Perhaps, only by mastering all the unlimited techniques can he have the confidence to stand in front of Gojo Ming and say that sentence, "A Ming, brother will protect you." Under the stimulation of Gojo Ming, Gojo Satoru, who has an out-of-the-box personality, developed a mentality of taking the initiative to become stronger for the first time. Yes, if he didn't continue to get stronger, he was worried that one day he might not be able to keep up with Gojo Ming. He was reduced to the point where he had to be protected by his own brother. If Gojo Ming knew Gojo Satoru's thoughts at this time, he would definitely increase his efforts. In Gojo Ming's view, the more events that make Gojo Satoru want to be involved, the better. Gojo Satoru will become the strongest Jujutsu master. However, Gojo Satoru is not strong enough yet, not powerful enough to be invincible. Gojo Ming came back to his senses and felt the shocked eyes around him. He also realized that his swordsmanship level had reached a breakthrough. Opening the system panel, sure enough, the proficiency level in Kendo has reached full level, and new functions have been enabled. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully achieving 100% proficiency in the slashing Kendo and successfully unlocking the fist proficiency. Close black lens bracket. The mysterious and mysterious realm just now should be the feeling of Gojo Ming breaking through the shackles of Kendo. Although Gojo Ming's attack just now is basically impossible to replicate again, but after reaching this level of Kendo, he has already mastered many things. The system is the system. The function is indeed powerful. Of course, it is also because Gojo Ming's body with heavenly restriction is originally good at Kendo. That's why the aspect of cutting has improved so quickly. Now that cutting has been achieved, what Gojo Ming should focus on next is fisting. Gojo Ming cast his gaze on Zenin Shear, constantly looking up and down Zenin Shear's strong body, as if he was looking at a treasure. Sure enough, making friends with Zenin was the right choice. With just a Zanpakuto, he had a physically invincible bodyguard of Tenyo Tyrant, and a master of fighting for nothing. Next, all he has to think about is how to get some wasted wool from Zenin. Gojo Ming even began to wonder whether he could forge Shear's Zanpakuto in advance, so that when Shear was fighting, could he directly gain experience for free. Gojo Ming thought for a while and finally gave up the idea. First of all, the Zanpakuto's forging material, the cursed tool with special properties, is hard to find. Although I have found the corresponding rules, it still takes a lot of time. If he had traveled through time into a small family, it was very likely that he would not even be able to see the shadow of his Zanpakuto until now. Moreover, he also promised Gojo Satoru that he would definitely give priority to his cheap brother for the next Zanpakuto. Although the cheap brother currently has nothing that he can use for free, but after all, he is his biological child. Hey, Master Gojo, why are you staring at me like that? Feeling Gojo Ming's somewhat hungry gaze, even Zenin, who possessed heavenly restriction and was extremely strong, shuddered subconsciously. Isn't this kid a little too abnormal today? Close black lens bracket. Today, Gojo Ming not only forged the Zanpakuto Saimashi, but also made a breakthrough in the way of swordsmanship. If this happens to an adult, Zenin will think that this person is very good and has a promising future. But now, this happened to a 6-year-old boy. Zenin felt that the big stick of the future was hitting him on his body, which seemed a little painful. It's obvious that young men of his age have not yet begun to meet their own time, so why are young brats like Gojo Ming and Gojo Satoru ready to kill themselves? No, I just think your physical skills should be very strong, Shear. We are all carriers of heavenly restriction. We should pay more attention to the development of our bodies in the future. I am also planning to develop my own physical skills. Gojo Ming's answer made the three people present silent for a while. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Especially the swordsman master Gojo Shunichi. Although he had just been defeated by Gojo Ming wouldn't fall in love so quickly, right? Are you giving up on kendo just like that? Master Gojo Ming, you can't squander your talent. As long as you practice diligently, maybe a young sword master will appear in the Gojo family in the next few years. Gojo Shunichi was ready to speak to dissuade Gojo Ming, but Gojo Satoru became his mouthpiece and spoke his mind. Ming, are you not going to continue learning the way of swordsmanship? Why do you want to improve your physical skills? Gojo raised his eyebrows and asked in surprise. Is there any conflict between the two? I will continue to improve my swordsmanship, and I will also improve my physical skills together. Satoru, what's the problem? Gojo Satoru felt like he was being drawn into Gojo Naruto. Gojo Ming had just entered the house in the direction of kendo. Unexpectedly, after only a few seconds, Gojo Ming was already tired of playing. Is it necessary to think about the next step so quickly? Gojo Satoru's character is very out of the box. At the same time, he is also a lazy person. Involvement and other things do not exist in Gojo Satoru at all. However, seeing Gojo shouting like this, he had an unprecedented sense of urgency that time could not wait. No problem, just be happy. Gojo Satoru was choked by Gojo Ming's rhetorical question. In just a few minutes, Gojo Ming's series of actions made Gojo Satoru twice make up his mind to strengthen his learning of the technique. Seeing Gojo Satoru being persuaded by Gojo Ming, Gojo Shunichi could only accept this result. Dual training in swordsmanship and taijutsu. Gojo Shuni can also accept this result. After all, he won't be at the Gojo family mansion for a while. And, more importantly, it seems that Gojo Ming continues to want to learn kendo, and he may not have anything left to teach. Uncle Shun, please be promoted to the first level Jujutsu Master as soon as possible. Remember to communicate with Ching Chong more and start the solution as soon as possible. Gojo Ming and others sent Gojo Shuni outside the back door. During the next period of time, Gojo Shuni will follow the first level Jujutsu Master of the Yagyu family to perform tasks. Master Ming, please don't worry, I will come back successfully. Gojo grasped the insect in a flash and nodded solemnly to Gojo Ming. He then looked at Gojo Satoru. Master Wu, during this period of time, you have to hurry up and improve. In this month, your unlimited spells should remain at the current level. If it continues like this, the head of the family may not be happy to see it. Gojo Shunichi's words made Gojo Satoru's expression freeze. In this month, I basically didn't take the initiative to look for the head of the family. Currently, the head of the Gojo family is in a state of self-cultivation due to Yari Inamitsu's treatment, so no one dares to make demands on Gojo Satoru. During this month, Gojo Satoru also indulged a little. Okay, Shuni, I understand. In the next period of time, I will also practice hard and won't be thrown away by Ming. Gojo Satoru nodded. Finally, Gojo glanced at Zenin and said nothing more. Mr. Zenin, Master Wu and Master Ming may have caused you to worry a lot these days. After saying that, he looked at Zenin and turned around to leave. Although Gojo Satoru and Gojo Naru are both mentally mature, they are still 6-year-old boys after all. During the time when he was not at Gojo's house, he could feel a lot more at ease when two adults, Zenin and Gojo, were here. After Gojo Shunichi left, Gojo Satoru asked to see the head of the family and left the forge. Zenin also said goodbye to Gojo Ming, and was going to Zenin's house to search for a cursed tool that met Gojo Ming's needs. Gojo Ming, on the other hand, stayed in the forging room obediently, preparing to use the system to clear insects to watch the live broadcast. After all, he is already 6 years old and he has not been out of the Gojo family mansion very often. This kind of life is really boring. At the same time, news that Gojo Ming was suspected of forging a second Zanpakuto also began to spread throughout the family. However, because of Gojo Shangyan's obfuscation of this news, no one knows whether it is true or false. After all, Gojo Ming's results this month sound too appalling. The cursed tool library of the entire family was almost emptied by Gojo Ming. In the end, no result was given, which made the family head unwilling to continue to agree to allocate cursed tool to Gojo Ming. How could Gojo Ming forge a Zanpakuto without cursed tool support at all? As for Gojo Shunichi's victory over Yaguzaman, what does this have to do with this ethereal Zanpakuto? Isn't it true that the Gojo family is stronger than the Yagyu family? The news about this Zanpakuto came from the Kyokushin Ryu Dojo. It's not like Lu Ming himself admitted it. It's very likely that the group of Jiiliu disciples who have never seen the world are just following their words. Anyway, in the eyes of many Gojo family members, Gojo Ming is still so silent at this time, which means that the second Zanpakuto has not yet been born. After all, if they forge a second Zanpakuto, they will definitely publicize it and let the entire family know their reputation. No one knows what Gojo Naru is thinking. Even for Gojo Shangyan, he has already made subsequent moves to confuse public opinion. After Gojo Ming says that Ching Chong is a Zanpakuto, he will throw out a series of evidence to prove that Ching Chong is not a Zanpakuto. Moreover, Ching Chong has been taken away by Gojo in a flash, and Gojo Ming has no proven capital. However, Gojo Ming's silence was completely beyond Gojo Shangyan's expectations. He even wondered if he had guessed correctly, that the Ching Chong was just a hard cursed tool. Isn't it the so-called Zanpakuto? Did Naru say those words just now? Has Naru really forged a second Zanpakuto? The old man was lying on the recliner, looking at Gojo Satoru, who had not appeared for a long time, with a trace of surprise in his eyes. Yes, my lord, the name of the Zanpakuto is Chingmushi. Gojo Satoru's childish voice reached the old man's ears, giving him a strong impact. However, Ching Chong has been taken on a mission by Shunichi. Therefore, Naru cannot prove that Ching Chong is a Zanpakuto. Gojo Satoru explained, fearing that the old man wouldn't believe it. Feeling Gojo Satoru's emotions, the old man shook his head, looked at Gojo Satoru deeply, and whispered. Satoru, do you think I am surprised by the appearance of the second Zanpakuto? The old man sighed. Naru's ability to forge the second Zanpakuto was within my expectations. As long as he is given enough materials to try and make mistakes, I believe that with Naru's talent, he can find a systematic forging method. Gojo Satoru looked puzzled. If the owner really believed in Gojo Ming, why did he stop supplying Gojo Ming's cursed tool before? The last time I came here to apply in person, I was ruthlessly rejected by the old man. In Gojo Satoru's opinion, this kind of behavior is just a disbelief in Gojo Ming. Faced with Gojo Satoru's black and white theory, the old man smiled and said meaningfully. So, this is what surprised me just now. What surprised me was not that Gojo Naru forged the Zanpakuto Saimashi. What surprised me was that Naru was able to come up with such a theory and see the whole thing so thoroughly. Use your Zanpakuto to prove to yourself, this kind of thing is easy. Naru only needs to use Kingming himself, and he should be able to exert the power of Kingming. But the hard thing is to control your emotions and choose the best solution at the moment when you can clearly prove yourself. Obviously, Ming did this. The old man's eyes were filled with relief. Gojo Ming's decision was not in his plan, but it was very much in line with his wishes. Of course I can suppress the voices of all opponents in the family and forcefully supply Naru with cursed tool materials until he successfully forges the second Zanpakuto. However, there is an old saying in China, it is better to guard against the people's mouth than against the river. If I really do this, many people in the family will only be more dissatisfied with Ming. After all, Ming has spent a month to prove this thing cannot be achieved in a short time. The success of clearing insects this time is somewhat beyond my expectations, which is good. But, Satoru, think about it, if Naru continues to use the materials in the cursed tool library to forge Zanpakuto in the next month, there will still be no what's the result. You or the rest of the family, what would you think? Ning also knows this kind of thing, so after you were rejected by me, Shunyi never asked me again. The old man stood up slowly. His weak body made him look like a fallen leaf that was about to wither. A gust of wind seemed to blow it over. Before, I was still worried about what direction the future of the Gojo family would take after I left. Whether Gojo Shangyan could take care of the Gojo family well, and whether his attitude towards Ming would affect the future of the Gojo family. Quote. Now, after hearing what Ming said, I feel relieved. The old man reluctantly walked to Gojo Satoru's side, reached out and touched the top of Gojo Satoru's head, and said kindly, "Satoru, I still feel that Narumi Mirai seems more suitable to be the head of the Gojo family than you. Your mind is still too simple. 6 eyes coupled with the superb control of magic power, you will not be willing to think about these trivial matters at all. For many annoying things, you can use force to defeat cleverness and directly crush it with strength. You are strong, I know it. You will be stronger in the future, I also know it. However, many times, many things cannot be solved by relying solely on strength. Just like the entire Gojo family is filled with ordinary people, these people often need the protection of our jujutsu masters. In real battles, they may even become our weaknesses. We gave up on our people, which may make us stronger. But what's the point of all this? Jujutsu masters exist to protect humans." Gojo Satoru listened quietly to the old man's words without nodding or refuting. As the 6 eyes divine son of the Gojo family, he has been thinking about the difference between himself and ordinary people. Everyone says that he will be the strongest jujutsu master in the future, but what does all this mean? Change the world, protect the entire family, or protect the entire human race? Gojo Satoru feels that he has not thought about his future path yet. Why has he been following Gojo Ming during this period of time, even though he said he was pursuing a powerful Zanpakuto? But, in reality, he was just attracted to his brother's determination. Gojo Ming has a temperament that he does not have, the kind of temperament that is very determined for the future, has clear goals, and has been working hard to achieve the goals. He wanted to know more about Gojo Ming and why Gojo Ming had such characteristics. They are obviously brothers, twin brothers, with exactly the same face. They have lived in this family for 6 years. Why is the difference between Gojo Ming and myself so big? After pondering for a moment, a trace of relief appeared on Gojo Satoru's young face, and he whispered to the old man. Ming is indeed more thoughtful than me. Moreover, the position of the head of the family is even more of a constraint in my opinion. I will not compete with Ming for the so-called head of the family. But, sir, I also have to tell you something. You now want Ming to assume the responsibility of the head of the family, but you have to consider whether Ming is willing to accept this position. Ming is my younger brother, and he will never remain ordinary. Now, he already has a Zanpakuto, and at the age of 6 he already has a kendo level comparable to that of a kendo master like Shunyi. In the future, he will stand at the top of the jujutsu world like me. At that time, will he really care about the Gojo family as you planned? I am 6 eyes. Naru is also 6 eyes. It's just that one of us has magical power and the other does not have magical power. However, in the eyes of me and Naru, we actually see the same things. Master, you just told me that jujutsu masters are here to protect humans. What about a non-jujutsu master like Naru? Does he have an obligation to protect humans? A hint of malice flashed across Gojo Satoru's childish face. Neither he nor Gojo Ming cared about Gojo's family. The things that Gojo Shangyan longs for are just mundane tasks in his eyes. Gojo's house is a toy. He was looking forward to how the head of the family would make Ming accept this toy. After all, he is different from himself. Naru has been disliked by this toy for 6 whole years. The target of this exorcism mission is Hokkaido, and the 2 of us will work together to carry out the exorcism. Currently, the association is very concerned about the emergence of cursed spirits in Hokkaido. There have been frequent earthquakes recently, and the number of cursed spirits in Hokkaido has also increased suddenly. The target is a first-level cursed spirit, and we both need to get there as soon as possible. Yagayu Shuji looked at the kendo master beside him with a very helpless expression. Although he is a first-level jujutsu master of the Yagayu family, among the Yagayu family, a family with a traditional kendo tradition, kendo is still respected. Therefore, when a first-level jujutsu master like him was asked to examine a future kendo master, Shuji Yagayu actually had little confidence. If it weren't for the family's order, he really wouldn't want to take this job. Moreover, at this moment when the Yagayu family's kendo master just failed in his challenge, this is not even a coincidence. Isn't it a deliberate attempt to target Gojo Shunichi? He also specially chose Hokkaido, far away from Tokyo, to carry out the mission. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell at a glance that Gojo was to be transferred away from Gojo's home in an instant. Yagyu Shuji sighed. In a small family like the Yagyu family, there would be all kinds of intrigues. In a family like the Gojo family, which is the leading family in the Jujutsu world, there is no need to mention internal fighting. As for him, he was born into the Yagyu family and was favored by the Yagyu family, so he naturally had to carry out the orders of the Yagyu family. Hidatsu, I understand. You don't need to say more. I will have people carry out this assessment seriously and let us complete the assessment as soon as possible. Gojo Shunni's expression was very cold, and he only wanted to complete this assessment as soon as possible, and then return to Gojo's house to support Gojo Ming. Although Gojo Ming had explained his thoughts to him before, Gojo Shunni still couldn't sit back and watch Gojo Shongyan gain power in the family as Gojo Ming's twin curse. If he can complete the assessment as soon as possible and return to Gojo's house as soon as possible, then when Gojo Ming encounters difficulties, he can also do his meager strength. Hearing Gojo Shunichi's words, Yagyu Shuji nodded, and Gojo Shunichi quickly approached the cursed spirit. However, he was complaining in his heart. Master Shunni, I didn't deliberately delay time. The mission I received is to prevent you from going back so quickly. In this way, Yagyu Shuji went around east and west, bringing Gojo Shunni to the place where the accident occurred. Gojo Shunichi was very dissatisfied with Yagyu Shuji's detour, but he had no way to say anything. After all, Yagyu Shuji used the reason to detect traces of the cursed spirit. And the place they passed just now did have traces of the cursed spirit stopping there. However, compared with Gojo Shunichi's dissatisfaction, Gojo Naru, who has been enjoying the scenery of Hokkaido through this Zanpakuto Kiyomizu, is much more comfortable. There is no need to run around in person, the scenery Chingchong sees is what Gojo Ming sees with his own eyes. He is not in a hurry to let Gojo Shunni exorcise the cursed spirit early. It would be good to enjoy some snow country scenery nearby. Finally, Yagyu Shuji and Gojo stopped in front of a villa in a snow valley. Obviously, this cursed spirit is currently hidden inside the house. Yagyu Shutsuji didn't really care about the task of exorcising the cursed spirit this time. After all, with his first level Jujutsu master's strength, unless it was a special level cursed spirit, other cursed spirits would be like chopping melons and vegetables in front of him. Although this time it is to delay Gojo Shunichi, the essence of the assessment will not change. Therefore, he was prepared to wait and see what happened. First, Gojo Shunni would perform the task on his own, and he would wait and see. If Gojo Shunni encountered a crisis, he would take action. Since the Gojo family has always said that Gojo Shunni possesses the strength of a first-level Jujutsu master, then it should not be a problem to deal with a first-level cursed spirit. Regarding Yagyu Shuji's proposal, Gojo was immediately non-committal. He also wanted to check his own strength, and with his Zanpakuto Kiyomizu protecting him, he also had the confidence to protect himself. However, when Gojo Ming saw the villa through his Zanpakuto vision, he saw the strong curse aura through 6 eyes, which was thousands of miles away. He heard the conversation between Gojo Shunichi and Yagyu Shuchi, but Gojo Naru did not agree with Yagyu Shuchi's decision. Although Gojo Ming has not seen other cursed spirits, it is obvious that the cursed spirits in the room in front of him cannot be viewed with normal eyes. Gojo Ming felt a little weird in his heart. He didn't know whether to be happy or sad about Gojo's sudden luck. In this mission, Gojo Shunni's hope of survival should lie in the clear insect in his hands. If he could just get rid of the bug. Uncle Shun, I can only see how deep the bond between you and Shinming is. Close black lens bracket. Gojo Ming silently followed the Zanpakuto's vision and began to explore the mission with Gojo Shunni. Half an hour later, Gojo Shunichi and Yagyu Shuji were running wildly in the room. The two Jujutsu masters with first-level strength looked extremely ugly. Hidatsuki, is this the first-level cursed spirit? While escaping, Gojo Shunichi couldn't suppress his inner complaints. The huge snow monster-like cursed spirit behind him was not level 1 at all. This kind of curse power directly defeated the two level 1 Jujutsu masters without the ability to fight back. Without the sharpness and hardness of Chingmushi, Yagyu Shuji might have been disabled just now. In Hokkaido, people like snow but are afraid of it. The cursed spirit in front of me is probably caused by human beings' fear of avalanches. After the birth of this type of cursed spirit, they are basically special grade cursed spirits, and as time goes by, their upper limit is also extremely high. Anyway, it is definitely not something that their current 2 first-level Jujutsu masters can handle. On the other side, Yagyu Shuji also looked pale and shook his head. The association's information is wrong this time. Master Shunyi, thank you just now for saving me, but this time we may both end up here. Yagyu Shuji felt very helpless in his heart. He was just accompanying him for an assessment. How could he encounter such a powerful cursed spirit? Avalanches, volcanoes, tsunamis. The cursed spirit formed by this kind of natural disaster is extremely powerful among special grade cursed spirits. If it were just an ordinary special grade cursed spirit, he and Gojo Shunichi might still be able to try their best and use up all their cards to get a miserable victory. However, in this situation, there was nothing he could do. A cursed spirit formed by an avalanche. Well, it seems that it is really strong, and it will be a powerful Yuling like Luahu and Waiu in the future. Close black lens bracket. It seems that it may be a dead end now. Being attacked by a calculated and unintentional sneak attack, Shunyi and an injured Yagyu Hidaji, the chance is too slim. Close black lens bracket. In this dead situation, can Uncle Shun complete the initial solution to the Qing worm? Close black lens bracket. Let's give some guidance. It's not worth letting a swordsman master die here. After all, he has gained so much experience. The key is, I haven't extracted the skills from Shunyi yet. Gojo Naru, who was meditating with his eyes closed in the forge house, made up his mind. According to the current situation, if it continues, Gojo Shunichi and Yagyu Shuji will probably die in this mission. In this case, Gojo Ming directly chose to turn on the resonance function of the Zanpakuto and took over Qingmushi's dialogue authority. Gojo Shunichi, please don't think of me as an ordinary katana, okay? Close black lens bracket. Gojo, who was running, froze for a moment and was startled by the voice that suddenly appeared in his mind. At the moment of pause, he was pulled a few steps closer by the snow monster cursed spirit. Shunyi, don't be in a daze. Hold on, the association should have discovered something is wrong. Yagyu Shuji forcibly suppressed the sweet smell that surged up from his injured organs, and reminded Gojo Shunichi loudly. Although the current situation is very disappointing, it is not yet time to give up completely. When Gojo heard the voice, he immediately calmed down and quickly continued to follow Yagyu Hidaji. He didn't know whose voice appeared in his mind. However, thinking about the content of what he just said, he had a bold guess in his mind. Could it be that? Is it Zanpakuto Kiyomizu? Open black lens bracket. Is it you? Clear bugs. Close black lens bracket. Gojo asked in his mind for a moment. Open black lens bracket. It's me. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Gojo is so quick. Do you want to complete the initial solution and counterattack? Think about it. Think about it. Do you really want to use me? Close black lens bracket. Gojo Ming guides Gojo Shunyi, reminding Gojo Shunyi that he must strengthen his connection with Qingchong, otherwise, Qingchong will not respond to Gojo Shunyi at all. In panic, Gojo finally realized that he had the biggest trump card. Master Ming gave me the Qingchong, but I haven't been able to complete the initial solution yet. As long as he solves it, maybe the special grade cursed spirit in front of him can be solved. Close black lens bracket. Gojo touched the handle of Qingchong's knife in an instant and calmed down forcefully. But, how can I complete the initial solution? When I used Qingmushi and Soda Shirayuki to fight before, I didn't feel the slightest sign of Qingmushi being released. However, this time, Qingchong actually took the initiative to contact him. Does this mean that he has touched the edge of the initial solution? Gojo Shunichi naturally didn't know that the source of the words came from Gojo Ming. However, due to a strange combination of circumstances, Gojo instantly acquiesced that Qingchong wanted to help him, so he was suddenly full of confidence in his heart. Clean the bugs. Clean the bugs. Clean bugs. Gojo Shunyi used the simplest method to start calling for insects. And under this strong message, he felt the true consciousness of Qingmushi, and he felt the strong vitality coming from the Zanpakuto in his hand. It was as if it was the time when hundreds of insects were awakening, and the Zanpakuto in his hand couldn't help but want to scream. Under the resonance of Qingmushi, Gojo felt as if the Zanpakuto in his hand had become one with himself. For the first time, he felt that the name Ching Chong was responding to him. For the first time, he felt that when he called the name of Ching Chong, he lacked the feeling of stagnation. Cry, clear the insects. Gojo shouted out this sentence in a flash of consciousness. Then, he felt the appearance of the Zanpakuto in his hand change. Although it was not as dramatic as Sota Shirayuki, it still looked like a completely different weapon. Feeling Ching Chong's response, Gojo instantly realized that he should have completed the initial solution that Gojo Ming mentioned. Two spells suddenly appeared in his mind. Clearing Insects 1 form and Cleaning Insects form 2. After realizing these two techniques belonging to the Zanpakuto Kiyomizu, a smile appeared on Gojo Shunny's face. In an instant, he stopped escaping and stood still. Master Shunny, don't give up, support from the association is on the way. Seeing this scene, Yagyu Shuji's expression changed drastically. He didn't know why Gojo Shunichi was so crazy. He just reminded Gojo Shunny once, which was regarded as repaying Gojo Shunny's favor. This time, if Gojo Shunny still wants to die, then he is not willing to take care of it anymore. Yagyu Shuji glanced at Gojo Shunichi in a hurry. He did not see Gojo Shunichi's expression, but his eyes were subconsciously attracted to the Zanpakuto in Gojo Shunichi's hand. What kind of weapon is this? Master Shunny has carried this kind of cursed tool before. Close black lens bracket. However, even if it is a new cursed tool, it should not have any effect in front of this special cursed spirit. I don't care, I still want to go back alive. Close black lens bracket. Yagyu Shuji had just made up his mind, but he felt a powerful force coming from Gojo Shunichi's cursed tool. The next second, he heard a low groan. Clear the insects with one move. As Gojo's voice fell instantly, the Zanpakuto Kiyomizu standing in front of him suddenly vibrated rapidly, producing a buzzing sound similar to the chirping of an insect. Then, a gray halo spread from the Chingsong blade body and rushed towards the special cursed spirit. Yagyu Shuji's expression froze, and his body that was about to escape suddenly froze. He never expected that the menacing special grade cursed spirit in front of him would stop attacking under the influence of this mysterious weapon. This is a special grade cursed spirit. He was controlled by a cursed tool. What's happening here? No matter how powerful the cursed tool is, doesn't it still depend on who is using it? Could it be that Gojo Shunichi's strength has far surpassed that of a first-level Jujutsu master? It shouldn't be. If Gojo Shunichi was so strong, then there would be no need to be in such a mess with him just now. Yagyu Shuji's mood was very complicated, and his eyes looking at Gojo Shunichi were full of doubts. However, he can finally breathe a sigh of relief. At least, judging from the current situation, the special cursed tool in Gojo Shunny's hand should be able to help them escape successfully. However, just when Yagyu Shuji flashed to Gojo Shunichi, the change happened again. The special cursed spirit, which had been hypnotized by the Chingworm, suddenly woke up. Those blood-red eyes were filled with uncontrollable rage. Feeling the strong pressure from cursed spirit, Yagyu Shuji's face turned bitter. He did not expect that Gojo Shunichi's trump card had such a short validity period. It only hypnotized the special cursed spirit for a few seconds. Damn, I'm going to be buried with Master Shunny this time. Alas, if a member of the Yagyu family can die with a kendo master, it can be regarded as worthy of the family's kendo inheritance. Close black lens bracket. Zeman, after Master Shunichi dies, you should be able to be promoted to a higher rank and become a candidate for Grandmaster, right? Close black lens bracket. At this moment, Yagyu Shuji's mind was already racing. He had already begun to review his contribution to the family and thought about whether he would be placed in the family's ancestral hall by the patriarch after his death. With being so close to the special cursed spirit, Yagyu Shuji really couldn't think of what kind of trump card Gojo Shunichi could have. Through the perspective of Zanpakuto Saimashi, Gojo Ming felt the power of Saimashi after the first release. As the Zanpakuto of Tosen Kanami, captain of the 9th Division of the 13th Division of the Soul Society Gote, the power of Chingmushi is very suitable for this blind god of death. However, for Gojo Shunichi, the power of Chingmushi comes with it. The technique is a bit tasteless. However, despite the avalanche in front of him, the cursed spirit awakened, but Gojo Ming was still not worried about Gojo Shunichi's safety. After all, in addition to the first move to clear insects, there is also a second move to clear insects in the initial solution state. Although this move does not perform well in the entire Shinigami world, it does not affect its Zanpakuto ability as a captain-level Shinigami. The red migratory locust should be able to help Shunny get out of trouble. Close black lens bracket. While Gojo Ming was thinking about how to fight next, Gojo Shunichi whispered again. Second form of clearing the insects, red migratory locust. As his words fell, Yagayu Shuji watched Gojo Shunichi's Zanpakuto instantly turn into countless sharp blades with sharp ends, falling from the sky like rain. These sharp blades were like locusts, constantly cutting the body of the special cursed spirit, and streams of blood spurted out from the wounds. In just a few seconds, the whole body of the special cursed spirit seemed to have been eaten by a swarm of locusts, generally. Roar! A painful roar came from the mouth of the special cursed spirit. Later, Yagayu Shuji actually saw a hint of panic in the eyes of this special grade cursed spirit. Shunny, he wants to run away. Yagayu Shuji immediately understood the idea of this special cursed spirit. At the same time as he made a sound, the snow monster-like special grade cursed spirit turned around, took a few leaps, knocked open the wall, and disappeared into the vast wind and snow. The purple blood left behind with his leaps also slowly disappeared under the cover of wind and snow. Yagayu Shuji regretfully wanted to accuse Gojo of why Shunichi let go of this special cursed spirit. However, when he saw Gojo Shunny slumped on the ground helplessly, he also realized that the two trump cards just now must have exhausted Gojo Shunny's mental energy. Saved. Yagayu Shuchi breathed a sigh of relief. Then, he felt his eyes darken, and the injuries that he had suppressed before surged up again. Gojo Ming, who was far away in the Gojo family's mansion, nodded secretly. The power of Ching Chong is still very strong. Although the red migratory locust after the initial release was not able to kill the special cursed spirit, this still proves the strength of Ching Chong. After all, the special grade cursed spirit is considered the top combat power in the entire Jujutsu Kaisen world. What's more, this cursed spirit that looks like a snow monster can also be regarded as a special cursed spirit of the level of Leihuhu and Waiu. After all, not everyone is Gojo Satoru, who can easily catch the flaw and instantly kill the existence of the special cursed spirit. Well, I have to mark this special grade cursed spirit. If you have a chance to find Sha Yuji in the future, introduce your business to him. Close black lens bracket. After all, the special grade cursed spirit is not that easy to find, in Hokkaido, right? I will give Sha Yuji a favor in the future. When others see the special cursed spirit, they wonder if they will die. When Gojo Ming saw the cursed spirit, he was already thinking about whether these special grade cursed spirits could be used by him, or what kind of help these special grade cursed spirits could bring to him in the future. At this moment, 1 kilometer away from the villa, the association's auxiliary supervisor suddenly appeared. Feeling the residual cursed spirit aura in the distance, Xiangshu's expression was also very frightened. He had no idea that a special level cursed spirit would appear in this promotion assessment mission. The information provided by the association to the Gojo family and the Yagayu family was wrong this time. I originally thought that with Yagayu Shuji and Gojo Shunichi taking action, a first-level cursed spirit would be more than enough to exorcise. Unexpectedly, the magic power at the mission location suddenly changed. By the time Nishiangshu realized something was wrong, it was already too late. Now, the presence of the special grade cursed spirit can no longer be felt in the entire villa. Does this mean that the special grade cursed spirit has killed 2 first-level Jujutsu divisions and completed the evacuation? Xiangshu couldn't even think about it at this time. This time he was responsible for auxiliary supervision and it was not an ordinary task. The Yagayu family and the Gojo family were both families with very long histories in the Jujutsu world. As one of the big 3 sorcerer families, Gojo Shunichi is the future swordsman master and has a high status in the family. Although the Yagayu family is not very powerful, this also means that Yagayu Shuji, a first-level Jujutsu master, is important to the Yagayu family. After all, Yagayu Shuji can be regarded as the most high-end combat power among the Yagayu family's Jujutsu masters. Now, both of them died in a battle to exorcise the cursed spirit. Nishiangshu can already imagine how the 2 major families will challenge the association, and the fundamental reason is indeed that the information they provided is wrong. Although, no one can control this kind of thing. If they were ordinary Jujutsu masters, they might just think that they were unlucky. However, this time the association faces the Jujutsu Master family. The Yagyu family and the Gojo family will definitely not give up. Shi Yongshu walked into the villa tremblingly. He could already imagine himself being pushed out and taking the blame. This is not what I want. Who knew that the cursed spirit in this villa was so powerful? Master Shunichi, Mr. Hidaji. I really didn't mean it. I didn't want to either. Who knew there would be a special cursed spirit here? Don't come looking for me in the future. It really has nothing to do with me. Shi Yongshu babbled towards the damaged area on the second floor of the villa, his expression turning gray with every step he took. Feeling the smell of blood in the air becoming stronger, Shi Yongshu couldn't even move forward. He was really afraid of seeing Yagyu Shuji and Gojo in pieces. He hesitated like this, feeling entangled in his heart, not daring to face the fear in his heart. However, the next second, a voice suddenly reached his ears, making him tremble. If you keep inking, Yagyu Shuji will die. The voice was a little weak, but it was still full of life. Nishinagaki, who had communicated with the two before the mission began, immediately recognized the source of the sound. Master Gojo Shunichi, you're not dead yet, Nishi Nagashu subconsciously said what was in his heart, and then he quickly covered his mouth, but then he realized again, could it be said that Mr. Yagyu Shuji was not dead? Shouldn't it? Could it be that what appears here is not a special grade cursed spirit? Is there an error in the association's perception? Close black lens bracket. Why are Mr. Yagyu Shuji and Master Gojo Shunichi still alive? Close black lens bracket. Why, it seems you want me to die. The association made a big mistake this time. They asked me, a small second-level Jujutsu master, to exorcise the special-level cursed spirit. You really dare to think. If I didn't have the Zanpakuto forged by Master Ming, I would definitely not be able to survive this time. This time, I won't give up easily. Gojo Shunichi was very dissatisfied with the association, but while expressing his dissatisfaction, he specifically emphasized that he survived because of the Zanpakuto. In this mission, with Yagyu Shuji and Supervisor Nishi Nagaki as witnesses, Zanpakuto Kiyomizu will definitely become famous in the Jujutsu world. This can be regarded as another kind of support for Master Gojo Ming. Close black lens bracket. During the Battle of the Sword Borrower, the corresponding experience will be converted, and the swordsmanship experience +1. During the Battle of the Sword Borrower, the corresponding experience will be converted, and the experience will be +1 in vain. During the Battle of the Sword Borrower, the corresponding experience will be converted, and the swordsmanship experience +1. Gojo Ming, who was far away in the Gojo family's mansion, was feeling very happy as he felt the experience gained in vain due to Gojo's instant battle. Although he did not personally participate in this mission, it was indeed because of his actions that Gojo Shunichi successfully survived. The improvement of Kendo experience means that he still has a high upper limit in Kendo. The increase in Baida experience means that he is getting closer and closer to enabling the instant step function. After all, having sex for free is the happiest thing, isn't it? As for Gojo Shuni spreading the news about clearing insects, Gojo Ming naturally saw Gojo Shuni's thoughts. He didn't care about Gojo Shunichi's decision. As he said before, the Gojo family is nothing more than a toy in the hands of his future self and Gojo Satoru. Gojo Satoru, who is the only one in the world, cannot care about such things. And having the power of death, I will not be entangled in the future development of my family. If his family can strongly support him, in the future, he may support the Gojo family for the sake of his old reputation. If so, the Gojo family are all a bunch of blind people. He doesn't mind letting this decadent family fall into dust. For Gojo Ming, the most important thing at the moment can only be the improvement of his own strength. Zanpakuto, kill the ghost with your fist. Heavenly restriction. These three things are the basis he currently relies on. He continues to forge his Zanpakuto. As long as he keeps lending his Zanpakuto, his power will continue to increase. When he learns how to slay ghosts with fists, he can also borrow the sword's experience for free. When the time comes, it will not be impossible to become a tetrathlon death god like Captain Genryanagi Sai Shigekuni. Heavenly restriction. As long as this thing grows over time, its body will become stronger and stronger, and it can't be rushed. So, to sum up, for the current Gojo Ming, the only thing missing is time. If he were allowed to live until the time when Gojo Satoru was cut in half into 2.5 pieces of Satori, he felt that even if he was not invincible, he would be considered a true one-upman. Time is really something that no one can control. Close black lens bracket. What I can master now is the forging of Zanpakuto. Close black lens bracket. Forge enough Zanpakuto and use the Zanpakuto in exchange for time. If you have enough power as soon as possible, your life will be more secure. Close black lens bracket. Have you heard? Master Shunichi has been promoted to the first level of Jujutsu Master. Master Shuni's promotion is inevitable, right? Why bother with this? No, do you know? Master Shunichi encountered a special level cursed spirit this time, and almost died with a first level Jujutsu Master from the Yagyu family. Ah, how could this happen? You actually encountered a special grade cursed spirit. Even 2 first level Jujutsu Masters can't defeat the special grade cursed spirit, right? How did Master Shuni do it? Who says it's not the case? Let me tell you quietly, I heard that Master Shuni defeated the special cursed spirit with the help of the Zanpakuto forged by Master Gojo Ming. This is news from the association. Was that sword really a Zanpakuto? It was able to help a first level Jujutsu Master defeat a special level cursed spirit. Master Naru was too strong, right? No wonder Master Yaguzaman lost so embarrassingly before. It turned out that Master Shunichi was the master at that time. What you are holding is the Zanpakuto. Zanpakuto, this magical weapon, do we have a chance to get one? Master Shunichi is so enviable. I heard that Master Gojo Naru has forged 2 Zanpakuto so far. One is Naru the Sota Shirayuki used by the young master himself as the Chingmushi currently used by Master Shunichi. Oh, I'm so envious. Master Shuni had a conflict with Master Ming before. I didn't expect Master Ming to be willing to forge a Zanpakuto for Master Shuni. Isn't he too generous? Who says otherwise? After all, Master Ming is the 6 eyes divine son of our Gojo family, and he is the same existence as Master Wu. It seems that the twin curse theory mentioned by Elder Shang Yan before is not valid. Yes, Master Gojo Naru can create such an existence as the Zanpakuto. How could he be the curse of the Gojo family? Like Master Gojo Satoru, he is the future of our Gojo family. With the news that Gojo was promoted to the first level in an instant, many details about this assessment also reached Gojo's family. Although Gojo Shangyan was determined to prevent the details of Chingmushi being a Zanpakuto from emerging, he could not influence the association's announcement. The details of the entire mission execution, as well as Gojo Shunichi's promotion notice, have flowed to various families and organizations throughout the Jujutsu world. Zanpakuto, a cursed tool that has been described in great detail in the entire mission details, has completely appeared in the entire Jujutsu world for the first time. The Jujutsu Masters Association was not willing to write this at first, but it could not withstand Gojo Shunichi's strength. Coupled with Yagyu Shuji's acquiescence, in the end, the details of this mission completely turned into the highlight moment of Zanpakuto Kiyomizu. Ieri family. Ieri Anemitsu looked at the promotion news from the association with a very solemn expression. If before, only a few families who participated in the party knew that Gojo Ming had the ability to forge Zanpakuto, then after this mission, the name Zanpakuto will be resounding throughout the Jujutsu world. Shoko, there is another first-level Jujutsu master in the Gojo family. Shoko, who had a bun on her head, was secretly eating snacks. Faced with her father's call, she raised her head in confusion. She didn't know why she wanted to tell her this. Ieri Anemitsu felt a little shaken in her heart when she thought of the previous proposal made by the head of the Gojo family. It seems that Gojo Ming's potential is also very huge. Although there is no magic power, you can forge a Zanpakuto if you can't stand it. Moreover, instead of just forging one, you can actually forge different Zanpakuto. Can you consider the Gojo family's proposal? While thinking, Ieri Anemitsu handed the association's newspaper to Ieri Shoko and pointed to the 3 words Zanpakuto in the article. That guy Gojo Naru really forged the second sleeve Shirayuki. Ieri Shoko's eyes widened. She was very impressed by the friends she met at the last party. I originally thought that we would have fewer interactions in the future, but I never thought that I would be able to see the Zanpakuto forged by Gojo Ming in the newspaper. Although the name Gojo Ming was not mentioned throughout the entire incident, everyone who knew the inside story knew that the entire article was praising Gojo Ming. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.